Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be talking about what is imagination. So, as you all know, I previously mentioned that I'm going to be doing certain book studies based on Neville Goddard's law of assumption. So, today I will be explaining to you in my own language some important concepts and pointers from awakened imagination. So, I aim to provide a clear and cogent explanation of some of the fundamental concepts that we are going to use on this journey. But before I step into the basics and specifics of law of assumption, let us know what imagination actually is. So, imagination has been referred to almost everywhere by people and in dictionaries as the imaginative powers, the faculty of mind, the ability to create pictures in your head, and by so many other things. But there are actually very few people who have put it to use with accuracy and precision. Before I go on with this, because this is a manifestation video, yes, your thoughts create your reality, and yes, that is all there is to manifesting. So, this is the one basic fundamental thing. No matter which coach you listen to, which video, which technique you use, there is one thing that never changes, and that is your thoughts create your reality, and you are the operant power. So, let's get into imagination. Imagination, if we see from the fundamental level, is nothing but a picturized thought. Also, Neville said that the Son of God is not to be found in history nor in any external form. So I always found it blasphemical that everybody says how we are made in the image of God. And then they go on to say, yeah, we are God, we are made in the image of God, but so and so is not possible. But I don't think that's possible. So this is really a blasphemy for me because if you're God and God's powers are really limitless, so there are no buts in God's dictionary because everything in this world is literally created from nothing. If you see, like, singularity is something that is really given importance. We all came from nothingness, and so if we claim our oneness with the universe, then we have to know that even if right now in our reality there is seemingly nothing, if what we want is not yet there, don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do because this universe sprang from nothingness. So we can literally create anything out of nothing. Neville goes on to say that every man is Mary and he must give birth to Christ. In his books, Neville equates Christ to imagination. We all know that man houses the creative God force within. So just take a minute and really ponder upon the depth of the statement that I am God. The depth in it. I am really God. If I am God, then why am I searching for him in history or in any external form? Because as we see today, these days we have an external locus where we think that God is something or someone outside of us. We have made statues, idols, ideas, not that they are bad of itself, not that there is anything bad in them, but that God is a power to be sought outside and have we have to keep looking for him. No. So if you see, the idols are you pushed out. Yes, the idols are you pushed out because they basically stem from man. No God came from the heavens and said, "Oh, this is what I look like and this is who I only am." So, yeah, this is me. No, God never said that and came that or claimed that. So, idols are just man's imagination of God. And we know by now that whatever man imagines himself or something else to be, it has to ultimately conform. So idols are you pushed out, and they stem from man. Man created them. And you know who is man? Who are you? You are God pushed out. So literally, you can create anything that you want. Neville says that man is the garden in which the only begotten Son of God sleeps, which means that we have only to awaken the imaginative powers within ourselves. Neville also mentions this is something that you have heard a lot by now, that any assumption, even if it is false, if persisted in, will harden into fact, which means is so simple. Like, even if you are weak and you continuously impress upon your mind that I am strong, I am strong, I am the power, ultimately, this is what the reality, outer reality, will have to conform to, because that is the power of the Christ within. That is the power, the imaginative power of the God which is yet dormant in us, which is yet dormant in many of us, which we are waking ourselves up to. So he also says that truth depends upon the intensity of the imagination, not upon the external facts. So the imaginative man, the man who uses his powers and knows what he is capable of and what he can achieve in his life, knows that, okay, so maybe this is right now what my reality looks like. This is my outer world, and I may not quite like it, but I'm not going to obsess over it. I'm not going to ignore it like, oh, this doesn't exist. I'm not gonna go into denial, because the awakened, the imaginative man knows that it will all come to pass, because the outer world is only a reflection of my inner world. When I change my mental activity, all the reflections must change. So, change is always internal first, because everything else is just a reflection. Everything else is just a mirror. You must have heard this line as well by now a lot of times, that everything else is a mirror, but really, Neville's philosophy is something that teaches you, something that imparts that to you on a whole new different level, and you really understand like how literal it actually is. Also, there is this concept that everybody talks about in LOA communities and also assumption communities, that everybody is you pushed out. So that is also something that Neville has emphasized upon, saying that all the others have bodies, a life of their own. Their reality is rooted in you, ends in you, as yours end in God, as yours ends in God. So this is where the concept of everybody is you pushed out comes from, and the thought that everything else is just a reflection, just a mirror. But until man has the sense of Christ as his imagination, he really can't, discover that his imagination is Christ. You really have to start by reinforcing this idea within your head that no matter what anybody else told me, no matter what anybody else taught me, no matter how many limiting beliefs have been imposed onto me as of now, I choose to not choose them. I choose to divert my focus to something else that serves me, to something else that reminds me that I am the power, I am the creator of my reality. And that has to conform, that the reality has to conform. Reality should be like your servant, it should be the one serving you. You should never look at the circumstance and say, yeah, that's it. I don't think I can go any far from here. No, because you are always creating. Even if you think it is hard, you are always using your imaginative faculties. You're always creating pictures inside your head. All you have to do is just learn a little tips and learn a little tricks to hack into this process and make it work for you. And mind you, this process is different for everybody. There can be certain basic techniques, certain basic philosophies, but ultimately you have to mold all the material available and see what works for you. So, what works for one person may not work for another. But that doesn't mean that there is some flaw in the philosophy. It only means that you have to discover the way that it is the easiest for you. Thank you so much for watching. For more law of assumption videos, stay tuned.